On August 23rd, 2021, when this man who is now very famous in Kenya, called Seth Panyako, announced that he was the UDA vice chair, nobody said he was the vice chair of nothing. But yesterday, after the same man announced his resignation from vice chair of the UDA party, suddenly he was resigning from nothing. Nothing had happened. That is what Secretary General of UDA Cleophas Malala is telling Kenyans. Now we know this government is a government of perception. It is a government of spinning things. You spin and spin and spin facts until they become lies. We know that. However, this time round, analyzing what is happening in Kenya right now, which we have predicted on this channel for a long time, it is very clear that even as the government continues to spin and spin, that will not stop what has already started. UDA government spinning out of power. That is really the truth. You know, this man who has very sensationally resigned, decamped from UDA, is also the General Secretary of the Kenya National Union of Nurses. Okay? Bottom line, this man who resigned from nothing is a unionist. Now let's just cut to the chase. Let me not give you many stories. Kenyans, you need to prepare yourselves for the maandamano of all maandamanos, which will consist of the following: union leaders and their members, all union leaders, which means all workers, jobless Kenyans, Kenyan entrepreneurs and business people who can no longer do business, university students, etc., etc. The list is too long. Folks, where we have reached as a country, it doesn't matter. The Kenya Kwanza regime can continue telling us Raila this, Raila that, Azimio this, Azimio that. The reality of the situation, my friends, is that we have reached that place where the Kenya Kwanza government can continue telling us Raila this, Raila that, Azimio this, Azimio that, opposition this, opposition that. But it will not matter. This is no longer about Azimio. This is no longer about Raila. This is about Kenyans saying no. Punda imechoka. That's really what it is. Now I'm just wondering what political analysts analyzing this period in our history are going to say. Because what we have here is a situation which is mind-blowing. Let us just speak the truth. When those analysts are analyzing our situation politically and why we have reached where we have reached, will they say it is Azimio and Raila that brought down the UDA Kenya Kwanza government? Will that be true? Will that be accurate? Of course not. They are putting a lot of pressure. But no, they're not the ones responsible. So who will they say is the most responsible for what is about to unfold? The mother of all maandamanos in the country called Kenya. Things being brought to a standstill in the nation called Kenya. Who will they say was most responsible? I will tell you, the truth and nothing but the truth is that the person most responsible for this sabotage against the William Ruto administration, this sabotage against the Kenya Kwanza administration, the name of that person, wait for this one, is William Samoei Arap Ruto. Oh yes. You come into power and you know you've been elected by the Venezuelans and not Kenyans. You know that your government is not popular. You know you don't have support on the ground. You know all that. But you hit the ground running. No fuel subsidies. Hiyo toa. No subsidies on unga prices. Hiyo toa haraka sana. And the cost of living continues to rise. And you just ignore. You tell Kenyans, these problems are being caused by maandamano. Fuel subsidies being removed are being caused by Raila and Azimio. Spinning. Yeah. You tell Kenyans that Raila Odinga is now jobless. He has lost his African Union job. Spinning. You insinuate that Kenyans are suffering kwa sababu huyu mtu amekuwa akisumbua muda mrefu, hata baba yake alikuwa anasumbua. Talking about Raila Odinga and his legendary founding father of the Kenyan nation, a great Kenyan, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. You talk about people like that and you tell Kenyans they are suffering because of those people. But meanwhile, things are getting worse. And then, you know you've been elected by the Venezuelans. You know you have no popular support on the ground. You choose to introduce new taxes, to increase taxes. And then you tell Kenyans, I'm not introducing any new taxes. This housing levy maneno, it's not a tax. It is your money. Allah. Yes, it's deducted from your salary. Yes, you'll not receive the money. But it is your money. You tell Kenyans that in broad daylight. Meanwhile, things continue to get worse. And at the same time, you decide to reward those who helped you and the Venezuelans to put you in power. Yeah. You give them jobs, over 50 of them in government, earning high salaries. You start spending like there's no tomorrow. But you're telling Kenyans, there's no money. Okay? And then the inevitable results from all that you've been doing. You have no more money to operate. And therefore you tell Kenyans, you must pay taxes. We're introducing these taxes, we're increasing these taxes. They must be paid. And this finance bill must go through parliament. Must. Mpende musipende. And you're talking to people in trouble. You're talking to people who at the end of the month, a vast majority of them, they don't go to receive money. They go to receive a payslip, a piece of paper, telling them where all their salary has gone. Deduction for this, deduction for that loan, deduction for this, deduction for that, etc., etc. Now, let's just use common sense. Even if you're new UDA, let's just use common sense. When you do all those things, what do you expect? You tell me. What do you expect? If somebody thought that by bribing and keeping a few sycophants happy, that they'll go out there and parrot the things you have told them to parrot. If somebody made the mistake of thinking that'll make everything okay, if that is the truth of what really happened here, then I think that person has a serious problem. So serious, I don't even want to give it a name. Yeah? Let's just say a very serious problem of reasoning. Don't you agree with me that the person most responsible, yeah, for bringing down the Kenya Kwanza government, because it is only a matter of time, the person most responsible is not Raila Odinga. It's not Azimio. that person is Ruto himself. Don't you agree with me? And even as this is still continuing to unfold, I'm telling you, wonders will never cease in Kenya. The Kenya Kwanza government is still telling the Mzungu and the Mzungu friends, if only Raila would stop maandamano, Kenya itakuwa sawa. There will be no problem. If we can deal with Azimio, if we can deal with Raila, everything is going to be okay. Is it? Is it? Seriously? I mean, are you being serious? Aye. How watu wamekula nini? I can't understand. I can't. Historians analyzing our politics today, that is what they will say. And they'll be faced with a monumental problem, explaining what really went wrong. Of course, those of us who are spiritual know the answer to that question. And I keep on saying on this channel, you cannot change spiritual laws. You can't. When you murder, the blood of those you have killed cries to God Almighty from the ground. You can't change that. Huwezi enda upate dawa kwa mganga imalize hiyo. No. You will suffer. Your children will suffer. Your children's children will suffer. You can't change that. Unless you're God Almighty himself. Spiritual people understand me. My friends, let us learn something here that will help us. Yeah, because right now nobody can help the Kenya Kwanza government. Yeah. And so let us take this opportunity to learn something for ourselves. That you cannot ignore the spiritual. You have gone into somebody's marriage and you have messed it up. The other wife has been chased away. You are now the wife of that rich man. In the old days we used to call it a bloodless coup. Ulipindua serikali ya mtu binafsi bila kumwaga damu. Okay, we used to call it that. I don't know what people call it nowadays. And now you're very happy in this marriage. You're set for life. Or so you think. Oh, spiritual laws kick in. How you came into power in that family as the second in command and minister in charge of internal in that home. Yeah, the wife. How you came into power as the wife is exactly how you're going to leave power as the wife in that home. It is a spiritual law. Folks, you'll forgive me for repeating things that I repeat too often on this channel. Yeah, and people ignore. You go into the office and you rebel against your boss. You think your boss is not very clever. You think you're more clever than your boss. And you rebel. And you cause problems for your boss. You do things chini ya maji. And finally you succeed. The boss is fired. You feel very good about yourself. Rebellion worked. Or so you think. And then you notice things have changed in your home. Your wife is rebellious. Your children are rebellious. Your children are telling you no. Your children are questioning your authority as the head of that home. And then you get surprised? How? You yourself have invited the spirit of rebellion into your life. And you can't stop it. The way you rebelled against others is the same way others will rebel against you. And usually, the rebellion against you will be multiple times more serious than the rebellion you organized against your authority. Some time back, spiritual laws. You can't change them. Huwezi hata ufanye nini. You can't. And I predicted on this channel a long time ago. Yeah. I didn't have privileged information. Nobody told me anything. I didn't have some information that no Kenyan has. No. I simply applied simple spiritual laws which cannot be changed. Laws that are like the law of gravity. If you go to a high place and jump, what will happen to you is predictable. You can't change it. You can't. Hey. Anyway, that is the situation in our politics today. And my very strong advice to Azimio supporters right now is the following. Stop thinking and wondering, when will this Kenya Kwanza administration end? Stop! Yeah? Because that is inevitable. That will happen. It's a sure thing. You can take it to the bank. What you need to focus yourself on right now is how are you going to survive what is coming? Because we'll all be affected. UDA sycophants, UDA supporters, Azimio supporters, neutral people, the people who are so intelligent, so clever, nothing affects them. They're not interested in politics, mere Kenyan politics. All those people, all of us will be affected. So advise Azimio supporters, shift. Start thinking about yourself and your family. How are you going to survive? What the Kenya Kwanza government has done so deliberately to cut its own feet, to frustrate itself, to make sure it doesn't survive as a government. All those things they have done, together with spiritual laws, Kenya Kwanza administration, forget about it. It's going down. It will not happen like instant coffee. It will not happen today. It will not happen this year. Maybe. But it will happen. Okay? So this discussion about 2027 CG 20 at 2027, why don't we discuss 2023 first? How we're going to finish it with the same administration still in place. That is what we should discuss first. And then when we have succeeded there, yeah, because it's possible to succeed there, yeah, clinging on to power, clinging on a string, it's possible. After we finish discussing that, let's discuss the very long year 2024. Yeah? But even before we get there, let's discuss the finance bill that is due to be tabled in Parliament. And we know that Kenya Kwanza used kifua and everything. Therefore, they want to pass this thing kifua. Okay? What is currently happening will make that very difficult. I'm not saying impossible. It will make it difficult. And most probably, by using their cunning, devious ways, the finance bill will pass. Maybe. I'm not saying it will pass. Maybe it will pass. But the political consequences on the players, any member of parliament who votes for that bill, any member of parliament who votes for that bill, their political career, kwisha maneno. After that vote, some people will not even be able to succeed in getting elected as chairman of a small village cattle dip association. Leave alone any other post. Chairman of a small, miserable cattle dip somewhere deep in the village. Those characters, it will not even be possible for them to go to a standard 1 class anywhere in Kenya and get elected as the class prefect. It will not be possible. And we have seen this before. We saw this during the Moi days. People who defected from the opposition to Kano, where are they today? Mention me the name of one person who defected those days when Moi was so powerful, who is still in politics today. or even who is still being heard of today. I can mention names here, you will have no idea about them. Why? Because they vanished from the political scene. That's what's going to happen in the finance bill. Yeah? And so as members go to vote, I can assure you, zile choo hapo parliament zitakuwa busy. Watu watakuwa na stomach upsets, stomach problems. Too much acid in the stomach. Kwa sababu, wanajua, these people are intelligent. They know the consequences of what they will have to do. They'll be forced to do because they've been instructed by State House. Okay? Now, unfortunately, State House doesn't vote. Although technically that is not true. Sometimes people in state vote via the Venezuelans and pop, you're in power, duly elected. But that cannot continue forever. Can it? What? Nakwambia ni drama, bin drama, Arab drama, ole drama, nyar drama. Zote pamoja. That is the political situation in Kenya today, my friends. So the Kenya Kwanza bloggers can continue spinning things. This Panyako man resigned from nothing. Nothing is going to happen. There are no unions which are going to hold any strikes. They can continue telling you those lies. Nothing will happen in Kenya. Raila is finished. He's on his way to Bondo. He's too old. Amepitwa na wakati. They can continue peddling those lies. But the truth is, the truth will always remain to be the truth. The reality on the ground will always remain to be the reality. So again, I need to emphasize, my friends, please prepare yourselves. And prepare yourselves, not focusing on Azimio or Raila, not focusing on your favorite UDA people or UDA government, which you have gained so much from. No. Focusing on yourself. How are you going to survive? Allow me to give you a heads up. Weekly Intelligence Briefings number 108 is out. And I can't even describe it. Moto kuliko pasi ya makaa. It is beyond that. Okay? In this particular issue of WIB, I cover a highly sensitive topic. Political assassinations. Okay? And there's one unfolding in our country right now, believe it or not. Find out in my latest WIB. You can see the details on your screens right now. Take advantage of this very latest special offer. It is also super fascinating that this latest effort, kumaliza kabisa, is very similar to yet another political assassination that happened some time back, that of Mutula Kilonzo Sr. Okay, those who have taken in my ebook on that topic, very comprehensive, describing the most high-tech political assassination in the history of Kenya, that of Mutula Kilonzo Sr., will know what I mean. By the way, you can get hold of that ebook. Details on your screens, in case you've not seen it, because I refer to it in WIB number 108. And it might not be very easy for you to understand even the trends that have been unfolding in our country since 2013. It might not be easy for you to understand and put everything together without the information from this ebook that I did in 2013. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.